everybody doing? Sorry that it was a month. I know it was a month, but we all had things going on. Had our holidays and days off from work and school. So I wanted you guys to get settled back into the routine before I brought you back for the show. So welcome back. I'm your host, Tiaera, and let's get started with this week's truth moment. One thing I really wanted to talk to you guys about that was just on me the entire time over Christmas break, where all I could think about was you guys. That's all I could think about. Like, I can't wait to get back to truth moment and reveal these truths to everyone because we had really big momentum that had picked up since our last show. So why not capitalize off of that? So the thing I'm going to talk to you guys about today is keeping everything in. Repeat after me. No, we do not want to keep everything in. It's a very, very, very bad habit. Keeping everything in on the inside, not sharing it with other people. And I know sometimes you feel like, well, I don't want everyone to know my business. I get it. But I'm sure there's still one person or maybe two that you're really close with that you share things with. And if you don't have at least that one person you share things with, whether it's a spouse, a best friend, a pastor, and that's a whole nother issue. That's a whole different ball game that we need to look at and evaluate. Why can't you make close, lasting, meaningful relationships? But back to what I said. I digress. Everyone needs to have that one person or a couple of people that you don't mind pouring out to. Reason being, I like to give an illustration or example when I'm in sessions telling people, if you look at your life like a soda bottle, right? Like a 20-ounce bottle of soda. Okay, you take the top off and you pour some soda out in a cup. Put the top back on. So let's say you poured out a fourth of your soda. Someone comes along, they knock the soda down, pick it back up, you go to drink some more, so you take the top off. It'll fizz up, it'll rise, but it'll settle back down. It won't spill over the top of it. Same thing with your life. Okay, if you are keeping everything bottled up, so you keep pouring more into the bottle, and you never have anyone to pour out to, and you keep the top on, when life comes along and smacks the bottle down, when any one of its situations occur, because life is about situations, you're going to have situations, both good and bad. So when one of life's situations come along, and you've had everything bottled up inside, when it knocks over that bottle and someone comes up to you with something very small, minuscule, and you get ready to open that top, you get ready to twist off that top, it explodes. And that's how our life is. If I'm not pouring out to someone what's bothering me and the things that I'm dealing with, I'm going to explode. The explosion could be in the way of tears, sadness. It could be in the way of anger, where you explode and you lash out. You do things that you wouldn't typically do, but it's just that there's no more room left in the bottle. So I say all that to say it's really important to reevaluate things in your life and figure out who's my person. Who's the person I can go to and tell these truths, if you will, that I need to share and get off my chest so that my bottle is not filled to the brim. So that I'm not sweeping everything under the rug. Because I'll give you another example. When you sweep everything under the rug may cover it. So I can't see what truths you're dealing with, but I know they're there because the rug no longer can lay flat. So your life no longer can lay flat. There's an interruption there. There's a space I see that's causing some sort of disconnect in your rug. So it's causing you to trip, literally and metaphorically speaking. If there's something there, some sort of object in the way that's protruding up, I'm tripping over it. Then that's in life. Something happens to me and it bothers me and I know it bothers me, but I'm just pushing it under the rug because right now I don't have time to deal with it. So while I'm pushing it under the rug, it's stacking and the rug's no longer allowed to lay flat anymore. That's my life. That's what's happening in our lives. So point of truth moment. What is the point of truth moment? Glad you asked. I've been having people, what's the point of truth moment? The point of truth moment is that there's so many out there, so many of my viewers and subscribers who decide, I'm not going to go to therapy. It's not my thing, Tiaera. I respect the fact that you do it, but it's not my thing because there's nothing that anyone who doesn't know me can tell me about my life that I don't already know myself. How are they going to tell me? They don't know me. Well, the thing is that when you do find a therapist and they ask the right questions, it stirs up something inside of you. You realize, wow, I didn't realize that I've been struggling with that for so many years. I didn't realize that I had been keeping that inside for so long. And so when you go to therapy, it's your way to get things out. So I realize it may take some of my viewers time to make that step and go into therapy. So that's what I'm here for. I want to reach out and stir up these truths in you to where it's a whirlwind. You can't sleep at night because Tiaera said something that resonated with you. Tiaera said something that reminded you of something you went through X amount of years ago. And now there's an unsettling feeling within inside of me. So that's why you'll come back every week and you can submit your questions. And I'll be more than happy to answer your questions by saying this is a question from so-and-so, from such and such, or just keeping it anonymous from one of my anonymous viewers and answering these questions that I'm starting to stir up into you. Because I want you to be able to say, I'm not going about things the right way. Because mental health is very, very, very important. You can invest in clothes and houses, cars, all things you need. Well, mental health stability is something you need. Think of it as investing in yourself. You're not wasting money by going to a therapist. You're investing in yourself, giving yourself peace of mind after so many years of not having it and not even knowing why. It's the purpose of letting you know why you're having these unsettling issues. Why sometimes, at night, you can't sleep. It seems like your thoughts are going a mile a minute. And you wake up and you continue your next day just like that. And you go to bed only to not sleep. You're not getting rest. And you have times where you're very tense and anxious. And you don't even realize why. Your heart may start palpitating fast and you have no idea why. Seems like everything is going smoothly because everything is routine. But just because it's a routine doesn't mean that it's right. Just because it's a routine doesn't mean that there's a better way of living. It just means you haven't even realized yet. Because there's been no one in your life to call a spade or realize that it needed to be called out. And that's where I come in. I'm thanking you all for inviting me into your homes, onto your cell phones and your tablets weekly to get you to share these truths, to stir up these truths in you. That's Truth Moment. That's what it's for, and that's what it was about when it was created. Just as I mentioned in the very first show, we will have opportunities to have questions of the week where our viewers can submit any question that they may have. There's no question that's too silly or too small or stupid. There's no such thing as a stupid question in mental health because we've all battled with things that we've wondered why. So today's question comes from one of our viewers who would like to remain anonymous. The question is, I have 3 children. 2 of my children's fathers are active in their life. My 3rd child, her father chooses not to be active in her life. So how do I deal with my emotions while at the same time dealing with my daughter's emotions? Very good question, Anonymous. And the way that I would answer that question is you would need to ask yourself, what void do you feel is being created by your daughter's father not being in her life? Does she feel that she's inadequate or she's not measuring up to the other children because their father is choosing to be in their lives and hers isn't? Because if those are the questions, then you as a mother dealing with your emotions would have to realize that you have to pour into your daughter and let her know that this man's choice is not her fault, nor is it any of her doing. She didn't ask for him to be her father, and she did not ask for his absence. So it doesn't make her less of a child or less than the other children. They're different men. And everyone has a choice. Everyone can choose whether or not they want to stand up and be an active parent or an active role. And you, Anonymous, have to realize that it's no bearing on you as a mother that this man is not choosing to stand up. So you have to deal with your emotions, because if you go to her and you're approaching the situation very emotional, then she's going to feel Okay, mom feels this turmoil. Mom senses my uneasiness, and this is making mom uneasy. So you have to go to her assured and confident, letting her know, sweetie, this has nothing to do with you. This is his loss, and this is not ours. And we will go forward. To be honest with you, you have an opportunity to be a bigger impact in her life than in the other children's life because of that void that's being created. Spend more time with her. Time when the other children's father is spending time with her. Really use that as one-on-one time with this child and letting her know all of the things that she does right. All of the things about her that are perfect and wonderful and that would cause this individual to be missing out on by him not being a part. And just letting her know that there's nothing that she can do to change the situation. She can't be a better daughter. She can't be smarter or be prettier to change this person. It has nothing to do with her. She's beautiful the way she is. And the fact that she's so intrinsic to question within herself where emotions are stirred up in the situation lets me know that this is a very deep child. I don't know her age, but the fact that she can already sense, okay, something's not right here. Why is one doing what another won't? And there'll be plenty of times in her life where one person seems to be getting the upper hand and she is not. So this is a perfect opportunity for you as mom to really, really hone in on that and letting her know that this is not your fault. And I need you, Anonymous, to know this is not your fault. This is not your fault. Don't let anyone tell you, oh, you should have known the type of man. No. All that's pointless. There's no point in doing that. What's already done is done. So you can only live in the present and help your daughter now to realize that she is fearfully and wonderfully made. That's his fault. That's his loss. I hope I answered your question, Anonymous. If you have any more, or if you feel that I didn't answer your question, please feel free to send in your questions. That is your question of the week. Many times in our life, we're faced with truths that we don't want to deal with. It's the truth, whether we choose to deal with it or not. And that's why the show is created, to help you all deal with your truths. And I don't want you to feel that I'm coming here holier than thou, that all my truths have been answered. Absolutely not. By doing the show, not only will I be dealing with your truths, I'll be dealing with mine too. I'll be stirring up things in myself as well. So that's the purpose of this show. That was your truth moment for this week. Next week, I'll be coming back with another. I'm your host, Tiaera Pritchett. That's my truth. What's yours?